My husband was Gary Bingley. He was in 11 platoon in D Company 2 Para, and he was killed at Goose Green. So the last photos I have of him are taken at Sussex Mountain. So we're hoping today to walk from Sussex Mountain all the way to Goose Green. So it's like a bit of a pilgrimage of his last steps.
How have you been feeling in the build-up to doing this?
I kind of have very, very mixed emotions. Felt better when I got here, and everybody's incredibly warm and friendly and lovely, and but my war stopped at Goose Green, so it's at the moment it feels a mixture of anxiety and am I going to be able to do it, and I know that he'd be proud of me for even trying, and actually it feels very cathartic at the same time to be here and understand that this is where they tabbed. It took me 29 years to walk into an army camp again and realise that I hadn't actually finished my grieving process. So the last 5 have been really tough, but also the healing that you should have done a long time ago. I got stuck in the depression stage of grief without realising it, because there were so many other things going on. It was easy to put it down to something else. He loved parachuting, and he loved playing football, and he loved being in the regiment, so he got to do everything that he loved, just all in one swoop with his job.
Yeah. And when everything sort of kicked off here, how did he feel about coming here and leaving you behind?
I wanted to actually throttle him. One of the last things that he said to me as he walked out the door with his big grin on his face was, "I've waited 6 years for this." As I say, he was a total soldier, and although he'd done 2 tours of Ireland, this was going to be the first time. Ireland's a very different thing to coming over here, because you never knew where the enemy were going to be. We actually met when he was on his first 4-month tour of Ireland, and we met on his R&R. Then he was on leave, he was posted to Berlin. And then when we came back from Berlin, they went on an 18-month tour to Ballykinler. So that was really the first time that I saw him go anywhere that was worrying. Yeah. And we just didn't know, once they landed, what they were going through. We didn't know at all. I hardly watched the news. I just couldn't. It was just too hard. I think everybody deals with things in their own way. And for some people, watching the news comforts them, but from the time the first casualties came in, that was it for me. I just didn't watch it after that.
It suddenly becomes a lot more real at that point.
Absolutely. It really does. I got a knock on the door. It was the Sunday, so it was the 30th, we actually got told. And it was 8 o'clock in the morning. And I remember lying in bed thinking, if I just lie here, they'll go away. And I just lay there, and the next thought that came into my head was, well, they're only going to come back, so I'm going to have to answer the door at some point. I knew. I just knew. I knew he wasn't injured. I set up something called the 100-Year Challenge at the end of 2013. And the idea was to raise money. We started with the National Memorial Arboretum, and every year we changed charities. And it was a really tough time, because I set up the Just Giving page on Boxing Day 2013, and 2 days later I was in a coma in intensive care. It was a medically induced coma, because I was really ill. And I had all these plans, that year to raise money. I was going to do an abseil, and I was going to do a 50-mile tab. Had all these plans, and then suddenly I'm in a hospital bed with more tubes in my body than I thought were possible. So I did eventually do the abseils 3 months after the heart thing, which was an incredible achievement for me, because I'm terrified of heights. I get dizzy standing on a chair. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up again. And sometimes experience of life has taught me that some things are harder to get up from and they take a bit longer.
Yeah.
But eventually you look back on it and you think, wow, I'm stood on 2 feet again now,
Yeah.
When we drove down last night and they pointed out to me, that's Goose Green over there, I just got this rush of emotions. And it was tough, kind of knowing it was that close. So I won't know until I get there. So far I'm just concentrating on putting one foot in front of the other. And I think we're making quite good distance at the moment, so I'm hopeful that I'll do the whole bit without having to use the vehicle. But yes, it is. I think it's an unknown quantity still, until I get there.